Had a close call while driving your Tesla? Or get back into your car and have that one incident Sentry Mode report showing up on your screen? One of the things I absolutely love about my Tesla is that the car keeps getting better over time. They release new features and improvements with firmware updates. But with the TeslaCam and Sentry Mode, there's currently a giant hole in the user experience. There's currently no way to view those recordings in the car or in the Tesla app. But that's where the Tesla community comes in. And it's another one of those big things that I love about being a Tesla owner. There are third-party apps available that let you check out those recordings on the go, and they can be extremely useful. Today, I'm going to be talking about two of those apps, TeslaCam Sentry Reviewer for Android and SentryView for iOS. But before we dive in, take a moment and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one. I'm Matt Ferrell. Welcome to Undecided. Now, if you've already set up TeslaCam and Sentry Mode for your car, go ahead and jump to this time code to get straight to the app reviews. If you haven't set up your Tesla to take advantage of the built-in Dashcam and security system features, I'll run you through that right now. The first thing you'll need to do is get a USB thumb drive and configure it for your Tesla. Pretty much any USB powered drive will work, which means SD cards plugged into a USB adapter can work, as well as pretty much any USB thumb drive. You can usually pick these up for $10 to $30. Now, there are 3 cameras recording 1-minute video files that come in around 30 megabytes each. So that's 90 megabytes per minute. I'd recommend at least a 16 gigabyte thumb drive, but something like 64 will give you some breathing room, which should hold around something like 12 hours of recordings. Now keep in mind, TeslaCam automatically overwrites older videos and Sentry Mode only records when it detects motion. If you're a Mac user, plug the thumb drive into your computer and open up the disk utility application. Format the drive in the MS-DOS FAT format. If you're on Windows, you'll want to format the drive in FAT32. Then create a folder with the name TeslaCam. And make sure to use the proper capitalization or it won't work. Eject the drive and plug it into one of the 2 front USB ports located behind the phone charger in the car. It can also work plugged into a USB hub. For the TeslaCam feature, which records video non-stop as you drive around, you'll see a little camera icon appear in the top right corner of the Tesla screen's UI when you plug the USB drive in. You should see a red dot appear that indicates that it's working and actively recording. With a tap, TeslaCam will save out the last 10 minutes into a saved folder on your USB thumb drive. This prevents it from automatically getting overwritten as you continue to drive around. With a long tap on the icon, you'll deactivate the feature, which is also something you'll want to do if you want to unplug the thumb drive from your car. For the Sentry Mode recording, you'll want to go into your car's controls, safety and security, and then Sentry Mode to make sure it's turned on. You can configure it to automatically activate when your car is parked, as well as to set up safe areas where it will remain deactivated. I have my house set up as a safe area, but everywhere else I park, the Sentry Mode automatically activates. You should see a HAL 9000 looking camera lens in the top right corner of the Tesla screen when the feature is active and your USB drive is plugged in. When TeslaCam is active, you'll see the lens glowing red. You can turn it on and off manually when you park with just a tap. So let's kick this off by taking a look at the TeslaCam Sentry Reviewer app for Android, which is free to download and has an in-app purchase for $3.99 for additional features. Most Android devices will let you plug in a USB drive into your phone with a USB adapter. My Google Pixel 3a came with a USB-C to USB-A adapter that works perfectly for this, so you might already have one laying around. All you have to do is plug your USB thumb drive into the adapter and then into your phone. Android will most likely require you to authorize access to the thumb drive, which you'll need to authorize to make this work. After that, just open up the TeslaCam Sentry Reviewer app. Select the TeslaCam folder from your USB thumb drive and you're off to the races. You'll see a list of recent clips and saved recordings. Select the group that you'd like to view, and you'll see 3 camera recordings side by side. These are the recordings from the forward-facing and fender cameras. The brilliance of apps like these is being able to watch all 3 cameras in sync, so you don't have to manually look through a long, confusing list of individual files and try to make sense out of which recordings belong together. TeslaCam Sentry Reviewer displays each recording block as a tab horizontally across the UI. It's clear what this means, but as a UI designer, I'd say this is not the best way to display a long list of data like this. It's a visual metaphor that does not scale well, but it's not really getting in the way of the functionality here. You can control the playback speed, which is a really nice feature. Being able to play back the videos at 2x speed makes it so easy to quickly scan the videos. There's an in-app purchase that unlocks additional pro features like the 4x and 8x playback too. I appreciate the playback controls for skipping forward and back through the recordings, as well as being able to delete an event directly from the app. The developer also recently added the functionality to clear all saved events from the drive, another nice feature. You can also save out events and share them to something like Google Drive directly from the app. This kind of functionality is probably the most useful for those times that you need to share a recording with someone on the go. If you've been in an accident or witnessed one, you'll be able to easily share those recordings with the police and the people involved. Overall, I'm really impressed with how well this app works. It has all the basic functionality I expect from an app like it, and after reaching out to the developer, there are even more features on the way. It's an app that's actively being worked on, so users can expect to see more over time. As an Apple user, the $7.99 SentryView app has pulled off something I didn't think was going to be possible. I love my Apple devices, but one area Android has the edge is the ability to access external storage devices plugged directly into phones and tablets. iOS from day one has had that locked down for security reasons, so plugging in unsupported USB drives does absolutely nothing, unless the USB drive manufacturer has built out their own method to get around that limitation with something like Wi-Fi. And that's where the SanDisk Connect comes in. The developer of the absolutely exceptional Stats app created SentryView. And if you haven't seen my review on Stats, I'll link to it in the description, but it's an essential part of my Tesla experience now. I have it on my iPhone and my iPad, and I absolutely love it. For SentryView, you have to use the SanDisk Connect specifically, which you can pick up for around $30 for a 64GB version. The way it works is that the device has a built-in battery to power onboard Wi-Fi to access the drive's contents from your iOS device. It's one of the only USB devices on the market that made it possible for the developer to stream video directly to the iOS device. Other devices with similar functionality have outdated software development kits or require that you use their specific company app. To use it in your car, you just plug it into the front USB port like any other USB drive. When you want to view the contents, you need to eject the drive and turn on the onboard Wi-Fi, which is done with a little power button on the side of the unit. Press the power button and you'll see a little indicator come on. After a few seconds, it should start to slowly blink. On your phone, go into the Settings app and then Wi-Fi. You should see something like the SanDisk Connect with a series of numbers and letters that appears after it in your Wi-Fi list. Write down that Wi-Fi name and then load up the SentryView app. There's an onboarding experience to help you get the app set up and automatically connected to the USB's Wi-Fi. But here are the basic steps that you have to complete. In the app settings, you'll need to type in the SanDisk's Wi-Fi name that you wrote down and tap Save. If you've configured your SanDisk drive to use a Wi-Fi password, which you can do in the SanDisk Connect app, you can also enter the password on this screen. By default, there's no password. This is a one-time setup process. After this, the app will automatically try connecting to the SanDisk Connect. Go back to the main screen of the app and you should see a dialog box asking if you'd like to join the SanDisk Connect Wi-Fi. Tap Join. After a couple of seconds, you should see a set of side-by-side videos appear across the top half of the screen. Along the lower third of the screen, you'll see a scrolling list of recent clips and saved clips. The second scrolling column is the list of days for the available recordings based on the first column's selection. And the third column is the list of times for the recordings available from the second column's selection. I wish there was a little more of the list's contents in view, but due to space constraints, you can only see 3 items from the list at a time. It's simple enough to flick your way through the list, but if you have a lot of recordings from a day, it's difficult to get a sense of how many recordings there are at a glance. Between the two apps, I think this is the better approach. It's cleaner than the horizontal tabs and still very intuitive when you get down to using it. You can also tap the up and down arrows to more precisely skip forward and back in the time list without having to scroll. You can delete individual recording groups just by swiping left on the row of videos, which causes the videos to dim. You'll also see a number indicator appear above the trash icon. And I'm really happy to see that the trash system behaves much like we're used to in desktop operating systems. You can add multiple clips to the trash, but if you change your mind, you just swipe right along those same clips to restore them. Once you empty the trash though, they're gone for good. If you'd like to do some bulk deletions, you can tap and hold on a specific date in the list and the associated recordings will all be thrown out. Basic functionality is exactly what you'd expect. You can play the videos in sync and scrub the video along the timeline. However, there is a problem that I ran into. And this isn't anything wrong with the app, but it's a struggle I had with the SanDisk Connect. I experienced some extremely slow Wi-Fi transfer speeds between the iPhone X and the SanDisk. This meant that the videos had difficulty streaming and would hit the end of their buffer and just hang. After talking to Ramin, who's the developer of SentryView, I'm definitely in the minority here. but it is something at least one other customer has run into as well. I've also read other SanDisk user complaints online about slow transfer speeds, and that's separate from SentryView completely. I ran through a battery of tests to try to determine if it was the phone, the app, or SanDisk. And the one thing I'm 100% positive on, it's not the app. I bought a second SanDisk Connect to see if I had a faulty unit, but ran into the same exact problem. I tested both SanDisk Connects with an iPad mini, iPad Pro, and iPhone 8, and it worked perfectly on all of them. While I still haven't fixed the issue, I'm positive it has something to do with my specific iPhone 10. There's still some things I want to try to see if I can fix it, but based on my testing, it really does seem like an edge case. Again, it's definitely not on SentryView or SanDisk for the problem I'm experiencing. If I figure it out, I'll be sure to pin a comment to the video, but I think all of you will be just fine. And if you're interested, SanDisk is offering a discount for SentryView users. And just to be clear, this is not a deal associated with my channel in any way. The first 100 units will get 20% off through June 28th. I'll include details in the description. Ramin has more planned for the app, like possibly using machine learning to highlight Sentry Mode videos that should be checked out, and built-in sharing functionality. But right now though, you can use the built-in iOS screen recording feature to create a video in your photo library for sharing. There's more beyond that, and just like we've seen from him with his Stats app, he's going to keep building out more functionality over time. One additional ray of sunshine for iPhone users is iOS 13, which is coming out this fall. Apple has finally opened up iOS device access to external storage. In all of the demos of this new feature, it's been presented as an iPad feature, but it looks like the underlying technology is iOS wide. That means iPhones may be able to view USB thumb drives plugged in using an adapter like the USB-A camera connection kit. Ramin said that he'll be looking into that, so there may be the possibility of additional USB thumb drive support coming to SentryView this fall. No promises, I'm not speaking on his behalf, but hopefully it pans out. It's great to see well-made third-party options for TeslaCam and Sentry Mode videos on Android and iPhone. No matter what device you're using, you can now view Tesla's camera footage on the go. Hopefully at some point we'll see the ability to view these recordings directly on the car's screen. It seems like a no-brainer. But even then, third-party apps like these make it super easy to quickly scan through footage and share important clips. I give a big, big thumbs up to both TeslaCam Sentry Reviewer for Android and SentryView for iOS. Have any of you used apps like these, and what do you think of them? Just share your thoughts in the comments below. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends because it really, really helps the channel. There are some other ways that you can support the channel too. Check out my SFSF shop for some cool Tesla, SpaceX, Science, and Undecided t-shirts. There are also links in the description for some great Tesla accessories from Abstract Ocean, along with a 15% off coupon code. And as always, an extra big thank you to all my Patreon supporters. Your support is really helping to make these videos possible. And if you're interested in early access to videos and behind the scenes posts, check out my Patreon page for additional details. And if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell to get alerts when I post new videos. As always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.